Oh, we're back. Yo, welcome. Yes, we're back. Welcome to Should Be Common Knowledge. It's been a minute. Maybe we should add that to our tagline. It's been a minute.
All we do is make excuses for poor scheduling and poor execution.
I know. We're still in season 2 with I guess it's season 2 part B. So our last one was the year in review back in December for 2023. So I guess we can start with a little recap of what y'all been up to for the last couple months, because now it's May. So I don't know. What have you guys been up to?
A lot. we booked Machu Picchu.
Yes, we did.
Oh, okay.
Luke and I are going there in September with my nephew. We're gonna go hike the 4-day Inca Trail trek, basically, which is going to be awesome. So we did that. What else is going on this year? We're all living in the same place. No one's moved, which tends to be the case. Someone's moved, but no moves in the last 5 months. So that's good.
Not yet.
Not at the moment. Not yet. No, nothing so far. What's new in Southern Utah?
Oh,
JP?
With us, it's the same old. Soccer. That's the life I live. So,
Yeah, go on. Let's go Real Salt Lake.
Well, that's the fun soccer. Well, no, my kids playing soccer, that's fun as well. But comp teams and a lot of every evening, every Saturday, that's what we do. So,
as I say, your Saturdays are booked.
Yes, they are booked in full. So it's all good, but worth every minute. Love it.
And on my front, and I'm sure Luke's as well, because I know what he's been doing. I've been like hiking a lot and training for Machu Picchu. Last weekend, I did a overnight backpacking trip, like hiked 20 miles up on Point Reyes, and my feet were sore. But yes, it was a good time. I haven't carried a full pack in a long time, so that was good training. And I know Luke's been training as well. He's walking, man, in preparation for what? I know what, but
the 4-day march. It's an annual event in Nijmegen. But yeah, they've been doing it for 120 years. They do 50 kilometers per day, 4 days in a row. So that's 200 kilometers, which adds up to 123 miles.
You're going to be dead after that.
I'll need a day or two to recover.
It'll be quite the accomplishment. So I guess it's out of one little town, and then they all have like entertainment and things in the evenings and big crowds and a lot of walkers.
Like 1.5 million people each day to just enjoy the parties. And it's about close to 50,000 participants in the walks.
Oh, yeah. You were telling me it was pretty competitive to get a spot. So pretty awesome. You got one.
I'm very happy about that.
That's pretty cool. So lots of hiking and walking going on over here, training for events upcoming. Pretty awesome. Well, yeah. So welcome back. We're stoked to have you all here listening to Should Become Common Knowledge because, for us, this is a lot of fun, and we haven't done an episode for a while. So it's a good excuse for us to get together and chat and have a good time and just, see what's up in the world, things that you should know about that we enjoy or want to learn about. So let's see what we got on deck. JP has got us first with our first segment, which I think he's winging it tonight, but but our person, place, or thing, he'll come up with something.
Well, I am kind of winging it, but
so yes, you can tell we're very well prepared for this evening. But we definitely wanted to get together. So you need me to stall some more? Are you ready to go with our person, place, or thing?
But that's where I'm like, you just keep stalling one sec while I figure this out. Like, seriously, I've got one, but then I came up with an even better one. So like, y'all just give me. Well, I can just butcher this. I'm trying to figure out how to pronounce this, but so I have okay. So I had the one I was gonna think of, and maybe we'll just do two. But the one will be the first one, real quick. This is I don't even know if I should call it a person or a thing, because I don't know. I keep finding people that I don't know who on this planet lives under a rock and doesn't know who Lionel Messi is. And the things he's doing in the MLS right now is just stupid. It's just silly. And just making people just look like children with him being at Inter Miami, uh, along with Suarez and the rest of his pals.
I saw them this weekend.
It's just ridiculous. So I mean, if you don't know who he is, this is your opportunity to see him play locally here in the U.S. I'm actually going to go out to Miami in actually next week. So I'm going to go to a game next weekend. So that should be that should be a lot of fun. But that was my in a pinch person, place, or thing. But I have since shifted. So we do have news. So and I don't even know how to pronounce this correctly, but recently we took the kids on their first cruise. And so we went to Ensenada and basically walked 9 miles that day and ate our way through Ensenada, Mexico, which was fabulous. It was a wonderful town. We had a fabulous time, and everyone we met in town was amazing. So we really enjoyed it. But we did go to, and this is where I'm going to butcher this, La Guerrense. I don't even know how to say this. Guerrerense. Guerrerense. I don't know if I'm totally killing that. So I wanted some time so I could look up the pronunciation so I could not look like a fool doing this. But you rushed me, so I'm just going to throw it out there. But I'd read Anthony Bourdain, the late favorite, called this one of the best street foods in the world. So had to give it a try. And it is.
Is it a restaurant or is it a?
They do have a restaurant across the street, but it started with basically it's a taco cart, street food, and they serve up the finest ceviche I've ever had. On a tortilla, we had the shrimp, came with a little compote of some pork, and then the seafood ceviche with shrimp on top, and it had richness and acid and lime, and then you put the oils on top, the chili oils. If you can look that up and have a minute.
Oh, I'm looking now. It looks amazing.
Oh my goodness. It was one of the better things I've ever tasted. Absolutely fabulous. Worth the trip for that alone. Like if I lived in San Diego, I'd drive the 2 hours to go get that on a frequent basis. It was absolutely amazing, and
it looks real.
Hey, Luke, that's not too far for you. You might need a long Saturday.
Just be careful down there in the border towns.
Yeah. But
that looks amazing.
It was absolutely phenomenal.
Street tacos. They've got seafood ones. They've got everything else. Oh wow, it looks really good.
Yep,
looks super good.
So that was fabulous, and it really was all that. So just, and we hit up a bunch of other recommended spots. Maybe I'll leave a link. Maybe we can leave a link in the description for this listing. But we hit up a bunch of different. Maybe we'll give you some of my favorites spots and stops in Ensenada. So that was a lot of fun. We had a great time there.
Yeah, I see a lot of hits on searching for La Guerrense. I want to guess is how you say it, in Ensenada, and looks like their Instagram at La Guerrense MX Mexico, and looks really good, worth a checkout.
Yes, yeah, it was fabulous though. If you ever have a chance, absolutely do not miss that.
How was the cruise down the coast over there?
Oh, it was fabulous. I mean, it was a quick 3-day cruise. It was fun for the kids the first time, never having cruised with them before. No, it was a wonderful experience. They really enjoyed it, had the ship mastered in a matter of hours, and were off and about doing their thing. You know, soft serve ice cream all day, every day.
All you can eat.
All you can eat soft serve, self serve.
Oh,
So no, it was fabulous. I mean, it's a cruise.
it was just out of Long Beach.
Yep, just out of Long Beach. It's a great weekend. The 3-day cruise to Ensenada, which is funny because they depart, and then you have a full day at sea. But if you look at the map, you're essentially there the first night after you depart. They're down in Ensenada, but they go about 100 miles offshore and just kind of do circles for a whole day. So you have a whole day at sea, and then they go into Ensenada for the day, and then overnight they get you right back. So,
oh, that's fun.
But it was a lot of fun, and hey, it's a great cheap weekend. So,
oh yeah, that port's right next to your house, Luke. You can head on out easy.
California.
Yeah, so no, a lot of fun, and it was just we couldn't have had a better time there, and we really just ate our way through Ensenada, which was fabulous because we had a lot of street carts recommended to us, and then we tried a few others, and we just kind of got stuff as we walked our way through the city, and the kids were troopers and tried it all and had a great time.
Sounds fun.
Yep. So that could be my place. There we go. Officially, place Ensenada and
Ensenada, fish tacos, and messy.
What did it say? I apologize for everyone who speaks Spanish that knows how to pronounce that. Yep. I don't know. I am doing it no justice, but the food was amazing. It was fabulous.
I'd actually like to learn some Spanish, especially before our Peru trip in September. But I know it's definitely different dialects everywhere, and a lot of those areas have very localized Spanish. So,
well, I've been working on my Spanish for a year and a half now, and that didn't prepare me for that one. Guerrerense.
La Guerrerense.
But there's the 3 R's, which are killing me. It's throwing me off. Don't know how to do it. Oh, well.
It looks like Guerrera with the ENS. Uh-huh. Yeah, Guerrerense. I don't know. I'm butchering it, I'm sure. But it looks amazing. So good. Well, that's a great place. Thank you, JP, for that.
In a pitch, yes. Threw it together.
You rallied and came together there and put it together.
I will do better next time. I
will. Yeah, we kind of had late notice before we decided to record this week. So, well, technically he had 4 days to prepare for something, but he was attending soccer games all weekend. So,
and didn't even really notice the group chat talking about this for days.
Yeah, I had to bump it to him on the side directly, be like, yo, answer us. Well, that's what happens when you have kids who steal your phone for, all day. Then you don't see texts.
Yeah.
So
I do not.
There you go.
I'm terrible.
There you go. Sweet. Well, right on. Well, thank you for our person, place, or thing, JP. Definitely would be worth checking out. Which now takes us to main topic. Let's see.
Who's the man with the topic? Who's the man?
Luke is leading us in our main topic today. If he's got something for us, let's see if he's as well prepared as JP or more so. So take it away, Luke, for our main topic today.
I was thinking about it because it's starting to become summer, and I know we did a summer blockbuster episode, but I think movies is something we all love, and there's always enough to talk about when it comes to movies. So I did want to go back and maybe visit more about directors, people you all enjoy, and movies we've all seen, and things that have inspired us and things like that. So I thought about a top 5 of my favorite directors, and you guys don't have to make like a top 5 on the fly, but there's probably a lot of overlap when it comes to these. So wanted to start off with one of my favorites, and I'm always looking for his next movie, which is Christopher Nolan.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how many movies you have seen of Christopher Nolan, or which one.
What? Well, obviously we talked about one of his last summer with the Barbenheimer.
Yeah, Oppenheimer. Yeah.
Well, actually, just Oppenheimer, but
That's true. He was one of the summer blockbusters. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. So, yeah, Christopher Nolan, Batman Begins, the Batman trilogy.
I love The Dark Knight.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I was looking through. Yeah, his Dark Knight series was great. Interstellar, Dunkirk, I really liked as well. Of his,
all of them were like, to me, like mind blowing movies, and it's like something I still want to go back and revisit. Cool stuff.
I never saw Tenet.
I didn't see it.
I did. Not as charismatic as the other ones. Not as, yeah, not as interesting as the rest, but nonetheless a good movie. Great movie. Again, with like some sort of a lapse, some sort of a it warped. So it's an interesting thing to go and explore. I'll just start off with the top 5 directors, and then we can dive into movies and dive into your guys' top 5 directors. I think you can come up with top 5 on the fly, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've already got 5 easily. So okay.
Was this like the Jack Black High Fidelity top 5 records, but top 5 directors?
Okay.
So I got Christopher Nolan first. I had Martin Scorsese in there because it's just, come on, Irishman. We got so many good movies.
Oh yeah.
I went old school with Stanley Kubrick. He's got some awesome movies to check out. Guy Ritchie, because it's just, oh my god, the breadth of his work is just, the style of his movies are just awesome. And who do we do as number 5? Number 5. I'll go with Tarantino.
Not a bad choice.
Yeah. So how about you guys? We'll deep dive into the movies later on of these 5 are all of our favorite 5s. But Jordan, what's your top 5?
Okay. I am.
Yeah.
I mean, as much of a movie fan as I am, I am not a huge
Director kind of.
like. I have some
Spielberg?
favorite movies, and there just happen to be directors that directed those, and I really appreciate their work. But I'm not one that, oh, this director has come out with something, so now I have to go watch it.
There might be more than you think, though.
No, well, okay. So we'll start off. I've got a few here though. So I can go Guy Ritchie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, like he is a director that I watch his movies, and it's because he is the director.
Mhm.
And same with probably Quentin Tarantino. Like that's why I watch them. The others just happen to be great movies that director has. Well, no, even my third will falls in that. I'm going to say, and these are in no particular order. Sergio Leone. I mean, goodness, like yes, anything that he did, I'm a fan of. I absolutely love all of those. Then Alfred Hitchcock. Don't love all his work, but I love a few of his movies are in my like top 5 movies of all time. So like, I mean, North by Northwest is maybe my favorite movie.
Yeah.
So so definitely Alfred Hitchcock. And then I've got Francis Ford Coppola.
Oh yes.
For Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
He has a new movie coming out, Megalopolis.
And then
Mm-hmm.
and then Stanley Kubrick for Full Metal Jacket.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then bear with me. Oliver Stone.
Oh yeah.
For Platoon specifically.
Okay.
So these are one movie choices. Well,
like, I mean, but they are movies that impacted me, and like movies when you finish watching them, you sit for hours just dumbfounded and just impacted. That doesn't happen to me with most movies I see nowadays. No. It's I'm like, that was a great movie, and the next day you're like, I don't even really remember anything very specific or amazing about it. Like,
well, I mean, Stanley Kubrick, for example, like visually, like you said, like I love 2001: Space Odyssey.
Oh yeah. fantastic.
Just for the visuals alone, the space stuff and.
Okay, you want to talk visuals? I've got one. This is yes. I will watch this director because along with the director, you get a certain set of casts that repeat again and again, and the visuals are the best you're going to find anywhere. And Wes Anderson.
Oh yeah, he definitely.
I love a Wes Anderson movie.
He has a style. Same with Tim Burton. Same with Tim Burton.
Tim Burton.
Similar actors.
And I love his aesthetic, but I don't necessarily love his movies.
Yeah. But he's also one of those where he has his go-to actors, Johnny Depp and different people.
And that's what draws you towards it or not, right? That's also part of it. But you can see like different directors have certain people that they work with a lot. Like Quentin Tarantino worked a lot with Harvey Keitel and Tim Roth. Like those guys are like basically in all of his movies, whether it's a big part or a smaller part. Johnny Depp and Tim Burton movies, like those kind of guys are just there. That's definitely true.
Yeah. What about like big concepts we love, but not the best directors, like George Lucas? Like his dialogues are horrible, but like they're such fun. Star Wars I love, but
yeah, but that's more visionary than director in my, because even like look at the credits for most of the Star Wars, how many did he actually direct himself?
Yeah, the original stuff.
And that's the same kind of thing. I think Peter Jackson is a visionary.
Lord of the Rings.
It's a visionary idea, man, but I don't know that his directing moves me too much. I mean, I still like his work, but I don't know.
How about you, Jonathan? Your top five? You have a top five?
Top five? Let's see. I mean, I've got to go with. I also had Sergio Leone on there. I love the spaghetti westerns, etc.
The best.
A lot of them have already been named, but like, adding a few more into the mix. I do like Christopher Nolan's movies, but Spielberg, of course, you got to mention. Mm-hmm. He's done some amazing work. Of course. Who else am I thinking? Even like, well, you were saying Guy Ritchie and who's like Tarantino. Along those similar veins, Danny Boyle's done some interesting stuff. A similar style. I wouldn't say top five, but I'm just trying to think of some others.
Oh. Uh-huh.
Are you a Finch fan, David Fincher?
Which movie?
Seven.
I don't know. I was never really super into Seven. I even like some of like Kevin Costner's movies that he's directed. Of course, I like some of his cheesy movies just because they're fun to watch, like The Postman and Waterworld. Even they're so bad they're good. But
The Postman is so bad it's good. I mean, that is like.
But I love Dances with Wolves. Was amazing.
Oh yes.
And like what else? He actually opened a movie studio, or will be opening one close to you, right?
Yeah, in St. George. Yes.
To do westerns and things. So that's going to be pretty cool.
How about Ridley Scott?
Ridley Scott, Alien, of course. All of that is classic, right?
James Cameron.
Gladiators, Ridley Scott is in that as well.
Yeah,
Gladiator is fabulous.
We got James Cameron too, like the highest grossing movie of all time.
I can't stand his movies.
Titanic. I feel like James Cameron and Michael Bay fall into the same category in my thing. It's just the big blockbusters. Michael Bay always felt like he needed to have massive explosions in his movies.
Yeah, just
like the Transformers and stuff like that.
What about like Ang Lee, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
Yes. I would say Ang Lee for sure. Absolutely.
Who's the director that always does he always had that signature scene with like a motorcycle and some doves or something. I forget who that was.
Woo. Is it like
John Woo?
John Woo, I think, something like that. Yes. I mean, action movies out of Hong Kong action. Yes.
He always had like some scene where there's birds flying up.
Doves come flying,
which were some of his films?
Like Face Off with John Travolta and
oh my god, love that.
And
I think he did like he did one of the Mission Impossibles, and Face Off was so funny.
Yep. Nicolas Cage.
I love Nicolas Cage
love the
movies.
Nicolas Cage movies.
They're so funny.
Like, who directed that? Seems like that would be like a Michael Bay movie, like The Rock.
I love The Rock. That's a great film.
It's a great movie, though. I mean, you got Sean Connery in it. I mean,
It's so good.
Armageddon was Michael Bay, right? Armageddon.
Remember we went
Like
that whole series of natural disaster movies for a while in like the early 2000s, you know,
Dante's
like,
Peak and like
is crazy. I don't know. I'm trying. I don't know if I can narrow down to top 5. And like JP said, like, you know, I guess I don't like have to see every specific director's movies, but I definitely do know the ones that have their distinct style, like Wes Anderson, Tim Burton. You know, there's so many. I mean, to name some controversial ones, like Woody Allen has a style. He's like personally a weird dude. Roman Polanski's a personally weird dude. But who else is the good ones?
Let's see here. I mean, well, honestly, some of Clint Eastwood's films are fantastic.
Oh, Letters to Kojima. Oh my God, that was like amazing.
Oh yeah, no, his are. You know what movie of his I really kind of enjoyed was the
Flags of Our Fathers.
No,
oh, those were great. I'd forgotten about those.
Those are good.
I really did like.
I actually even really liked Gran Torino was good. Invictus was good of his. I mean, it's pretty depressing, but $1 Million Baby was good.
I didn't care for that one.
Yeah.
Space Cowboys was entertaining. Tommy Lee Jones and him in Space Cowboys, I thought that was pretty funny.
How about Spike Lee? Well, how do you feel about Spike Lee or the Coen brothers for that?
Oh yeah, I mean Spike Lee has done some amazing work. You know, like his stuff is. I mean, it's definitely made big statements. Yeah. Malcolm X,
the right thing.
Yeah, whole bunch of definitely specific genres. The one of his that I really liked was the Inside Man was good. Did you see that Denzel with like Clive Owen? If you haven't seen that one, and Jodie Foster was in that as well.
Oh, that was great. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that was a great movie.
But yeah, don't spoiler that one. No, it's definitely good. I enjoyed that one.
Don't give the spoiler then. I was about to give the spoiler.
Who else? I mean, there's
Guillermo del Toro. Guillermo del Toro is still there.
Oh yeah,
Pan's Labyrinth, and he did some Hellboy and stuff like that. But the characters and the costumes that come out of his movies are just amazing.
Oh yeah, so many to look at. I mean,
but I agree with Jordan. The reason I came to it is too, like Jordan was saying, is like I don't really look at directors. I've had it the other way around, where I was like watching movies growing up, and then you find out after I've watched 3 of someone's movies, it's like, oh, this is all the same director, and then you start getting like a feel for how they do their stuff. Like Nolan definitely wants to do the smart movies where it's like a little bit more of a thinker. That's definitely always like a part of it. Tarantino always has some. Yeah, you can see he's inspired by 70s because it's not.
Yes.
My wife loves it too. She's like, it's not. There's a lot of violence, but it's not gory and it doesn't look realistic. Like because it's like ketchup being splattered everywhere. It doesn't take away from people watching it. So she still enjoys watching those, and the stories are great. And I think Tarantino is someone for like. Definitely for the conversations that are happening in the dialogues in the movies are like awesome. And I think that's the thing that you kind of like see, like a Guy Ritchie movie, The Lock, Stock, and 2 Smoking Barrels, and Snatch, and even Gentleman in like 2017. They kind of have that feel with the Cockney, and there's like colorful characters always in them. And I love it. I just went to his latest movie on what was it? The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, which is based on like a real story. Same thing. Like you got so many colorful characters. It just always like it's a good time, and that's why I get drawn to them. It's like, okay, I do want to see a trailer. I do want to see who's in it. It's not like a default that I'll go for it, but sometimes they just deliver time after time. Like a Spielberg has done that over time with me as well. It's like, of course, there's going to be misses, like what you said, like with Hitchcock, there's great movies, and then there's something that you might not enjoy as much. I have that with Kubrick too. Like there's movies that I really enjoyed, and there's stuff that I'm like, I don't know, went a little overboard, kind of stuff. But that's how I got into it. It's like, okay, I just watched the movies. Now it's like, oh wait, Goodfellas, Casino, and The Irishman is all like Scorsese. Like
Yeah.
that.
It's kind of like surprising too to see like, oh yeah, I didn't realize like Danny Boyle directed 28 Days Later, like the zombie film I love. And he's the same guy that did Slumdog Millionaire, or I don't know if you guys saw Millions, which was I thought was a good film in 2004's Millions. And then same guy did Trainspotting, so definitely a very specific vibe. But some others you're just like, whoa, surprising to find out. He even did the 127 Hours about the guy that got stuck in the mountains in Utah. So quite a broad. I mean, if you look at any of these directors, even like Coppola or the range of various projects, I mean, you can see kind of a silver thread of a style. But I mean, you look at even like Spielberg, he's got such a broad portfolio of movies that he's done. Everything from like fun and campy stuff like Indiana Jones to like
Saving Private Ryan,
Saving Private Ryan or Schindler's List, like some heavy stuff, but Jurassic Park, the summer blockbuster things. But then like, I forget, like he did War of the Worlds or
Jaws.
He's got a huge list.
Yeah, I forget about Indiana Jones with Steven Spielberg, which, yes, the recent one. Now looking back, they're all cheesy, but I still love them. I mean,
he did Raiders, which is one of the great Temple of Doom. He didn't direct all the newer ones.
Did he not?
He didn't direct the newest one.
Oh, good.
But he did the Crystal Skull.
Oh, that one. I just pretend that didn't happen.
I actually, I don't mind it that much. Actually, if you watch it now and compare it to the others, they're just as cheesy or campy.
They are, but it was just
or unbelievable. Like okay, aliens versus people's faces melting.
A magical cup that you drink of gives you eternal life is plausible, but aliens was a bridge too far.
Yeah,
it's just like no, jump the shark. No, done.
Or the spirits out of the ark melting faces, like
that was plausible to me.
It might have had to do with the age at which you watched it.
I think it also probably does. Yep.
But this newest one, I mean, I thought it was so good, but then like I don't want to spoil it for people that haven't seen the latest one, but if you see like the whole premise of that and where the climax ends up and where they go, like that seems like super implausible, obviously. Having to do with time and things, but definitely check that one if you haven't seen it. I thought it was really great. But yeah, I think the age of when you see things definitely impacts. That's for sure.
That's true. No, but there's interesting things in there, and it's funny to see movies that you didn't expect from like these kind of directors. Like Disney's Aladdin live action was done by Guy Ritchie.
Really? I wouldn't have expected that at all, of course I don't love the live action one, so I didn't see it. So
it's a far cry from Snatch or Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Who are we missing? Anyone else?
I think we got like the main guys in there, like Ridley Scott. So,
yeah,
like the movies you grew up on. I've been seeing some interesting stuff from a newer director. I'm trying to find his name. He did The Harder They Fall. It was a very interesting one, and he brought out a movie this year, which was The Book of Clarence, James Samuel. And so this guy did The Harder They Fall is a Western, and they've. Let's not say it's like the new Steven Spielberg or anything like that, but they're definitely entertaining movies. So sometimes when I see someone like that and I see a couple of his movies, I'm like, I'll try out the new one. I might not go to the movie theater for it, I won't buy the ticket, but when it comes on the streaming services and it's free, I might watch it. I find it interesting. Same with like a Wes Anderson movie. I have to be in a Wes Anderson mood too.
Yeah, you do.
It's fun. It's nice to see the cinematography of it, but and the story how it involves. But they are slower movies, I want to say,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not always like action packed. So that's the thing. I thought Grand Budapest Hotel was great.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Some of the newer ones I've tried to watch some when I'm tired and it doesn't work. You've got to be like into it and awake, ready to go. But I love his films, and like some may be better than others, but definitely he doesn't have a ton of movies compared to the other folks, but his are very, I imagine they take a long time because the production of that and the miniatures and I was surprised. I looked up his filmography. He doesn't, since 1996, he's only at like he's under 20 films, maybe under 15 or about 15 films or 16. So, but some good ones on the list there: Bottle Rocket, Rushmore, Royal Tenenbaums, Life Aquatic. All of them, and they're very distinct films. I even like the ones that are like stop motion, like Fantastic Mr. Fox and Isle of Dogs. I really like too. Just definitely different styles. The French Dispatch, I tried to watch and fell asleep. I need to give that a second go. Asteroid City, I haven't watched yet, but he's got more coming out soon.
I have the same issue with the French Dispatch. I fell asleep on that one too.
I saw some of it and I was like, I like fell asleep. So, but yeah,
definitely I agree with Jordan. Like, it's like I don't go for directors to watch movies. Like, I watch movies because I want to see them. Like, I'll be going next week to like Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I have no clue.
Oh yeah, those are fun. Are you caught up on all of those?
Yeah, I rewatched the other ones like last month. They're fun. I thought the new trilogy was better than anything I've ever seen, especially because the one that came out since I've been alive was the one with Mark Wahlberg, which was horrifying.
Oh yeah. Which one was that?
The 2000 Planet of the Apes. I think it was in 2000 it came out.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I've got a director for you.
Okay.
This, who was all the rage for quite a while though. M. Night Shyamalan. Forgot, like his last few have just not done anything for me. But The Sixth Sense.
Oh yeah.
That was like a director that you were going to his movies to see his movies just to see what he would do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what I actually liked of his was Unbreakable.
Unbreakable's great.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one too. There's a second one.
Mm-hmm. There's the third one now too. Glass.
Really?
Yeah, Glass is the third one.
Is that the third or this? I thought is Glass a new one?
Yeah, there's the other one with James McAvoy. I forget what the name is.
Because there's Unbreakable,
where he's like a beast sort of a thing. James McAvoy.
Oh, I didn't know. Well, there's
Split is also one of his movies.
Oh yeah, Split.
That's the other one.
Glass, I thought was the second one.
Well, they're all,
okay. So that's like that's a series of 3.
Yeah.
I didn't realize Split was connected. I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
I
watched it and then Mr. Glass shows up, so that's how I knew.
Okay. I saw the Unbreakable and then Glass. Who else we got?
I've got one more. Akira Kurosawa. Seven Samurai.
Seven Samurai.
Great movie. Rashomon. A bunch of others, but his cinematography and storytelling is amazing. I mean, especially filmed in the 50s. Amazing stuff. I mean, what's funny is like it seems like a lot of westerns are influenced by his work.
Cool stuff.
But I think he was even inspired by Tom Ford and a bunch of older westerns. But Seven Samurai, amazing movie.
I should definitely give that a watch. I haven't seen that.
Have you not seen Seven Samurai? Oh, definitely should. Definitely should. I mean, it itself has been remade so many times by,
That's cool.
Everybody's made a version of, the Seven Samurai. Even, I would even say the Three Amigos is just another version of Seven Samurai.
That's a good one. Yeah.
So I got to ask you guys a controversial opinion. What do you think about J.J. Abrams and what he did to Star Wars? A lot of fanboy Star Wars hate what he did to the last three or to the ones he touched.
I liked. Let me say the introduction to the last trilogy was something I enjoyed. I know that there was a lot of talk. It's like, oh, it's just number four again. It's just the New Hope again. I didn't saw it that way. I thought it was,
Because you're talking about the Force
yeah,
Awakens.
Force Awakens. I thought it was great. I liked it, enjoyed it. I thought it was entertaining. It was fast paced. There was some references to the old people. Like it's awesome. I thought it was great.
Yeah, and then he had to come back in and kind of steer it back in for Rise of Skywalker, the third one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wanted to touch on Jordan said Coppola for Apocalypse Now.
Oh yeah.
I grew up watching these kind of movies, and I was probably way too young because I had an older brother, and he was watching him, and I was watching him with him. I was probably like 12 or 13 watching Apocalypse Now, which is probably atrocious to do.
Is that why though they impacted us? Like Platoon,
Yeah,
when I finished watching that, I couldn't sleep all night, and I was just
yeah.
the horrors of war. Just like, is it because we saw those when we were young and probably too young to see them?
Wow.
Is that why it made an impact? And now it's just old and jaded, and you see something new, and you're like, nah, whatever.
Yeah. Well, think how many war movies there are now and like stuff like that. But that was also like a different level back then.
I mean,
and plus they were kind of like groundbreaking of their time because now it's been redone a million times. Even as like the Godfather and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But Apocalypse Now, though, like, I don't know if that were to come out today, it's still wild. Like,
Yeah,
that's just
they're very
crazy. That's just a wild movie. Like, it's just insane.
I showed it to my wife about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, probably, and she hates me till this day for showing her that movie. She's like, "Don't ever show me crap like this."
What did she? I'm curious. What did she not like about that movie?
Oh, the ending, like Brando.
Uh-huh.
Brando in that movie. She's like, that stuff's just too scary. I had to take her out for a walk to catch like a breather after the movie to like really calm down and like you know compressive like just let go of everything that just happened. It's like that, and I got very intrigued by it because I was talking to someone. I was probably 14 or something. My brother put it on, and I heard somebody at work who's like watched it. He was a little older. He was like a chef, and I was like in the kitchen working there. He's like, the first scene in that movie with Martin Sheen in the shower after he's OD'd, and the guys are picking him up and putting him on the bed and stuff like that. Yeah, they actually gave him heroin, and he was in the shower, actually like kind of ODing, and they just put him on the bed, and it kept the cameras rolling. It's like that was just insane to me, and I was like, oh, now I have to go see it because now that just intrigued me.
That's wild.
That is crazy.
That's intriguing enough for me to keep watching.
Yeah, that is just in the cinematography, let alone the storytelling. Just the cinematography of that film is just, I mean,
it's palpable, right? You feel like you're there. You feel like at any minute shit could go hit the fan, basically. Excuse my French.
Well, I mean, it's like movies within the movies. I mean, within that movie alone, just the whole. Who am I thinking? Yeah, like I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Like, I mean, you've got what's the song, "The Rise of the Valkyrie" or whatever, playing over like when they're surfing and I mean, just like who comes up with that?
Oh god. I know what you mean. Smells like napalm in the morning.
At the same time they're blowing up a small village, and you don't know to be horrified or just think it's the coolest thing you've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
it's wild.
Yeah, and it's funny because I was like, I watched Matrix before I watched Apocalypse Now. And it's funny, then you see
Yep.
all of a sudden Lawrence Fishburne is in Apocalypse Now is like a 16-year-old kid or 18-year-old kid or something like that. I don't know exactly how old he was. Don't fact check me on that one, but that was like
Yeah.
insane. And Robert Duvall that I've known from like 60 Seconds and stuff like that, and a ton of other movies, of course. But it's like, okay, cool. That's the guy that says, "I love the smell of napalm in the morning," and then it's like it's insane who's in that movie as like younger actors and things like that. It's just amazing to see. And then the cinematography, and then Brando goes on his thing, and it's like just like Godfather and Apocalypse Now is Coppola, and that's like something that's just like, okay, that puts you on the map right there.
That's wild. Yeah, I know some of those scenes with Brando are crazy. I got to bring up a couple that we haven't talked about, which were kind of maybe of the era, but like that I was coming up. Robert Zemeckis.
Yeah, I was just gonna go saying John Hughes, Zemeckis.
John Hughes for the teen movies, but like Zemeckis was like Zemeckis for the Back to the Future. He did Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Forrest Gump he did. Ton of stuff. Castaway. I didn't realize he did Castaway.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely Back to the Future is like one of my faves coming up. And then John Hughes, of course, all of the Breakfast Club, those kind of movies from the 80s.
You know, Zemeckis also did Forrest Gump.
Who's that? Zemeckis? Yeah. Definitely. John Hughes, one of my faves is Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but like, yeah, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I didn't realize he did that. Great. Uncle Buck. Yeah, there's like a whole series
I love that movie.
Whole series of 80s film. Weird Science, 16 Candles. Uncle Buck's so funny. But then
that's the kind of guys that I was like, I found out later that this was the guy that did Home Alone and all these movies. You know, I found out later that was the thing. Hughes directed and wrote both, so I think he wrote Home Alone.
Well, he did not direct Home Alone, but he wrote it. I'm seeing here. He produced and wrote it, but he didn't direct this. He actually wrote a ton more movies than he actually directed. He only directed like 7 or 8 movies apparently, but wrote like 20, 30 movies. Pretty wild, and produced a ton. Pretty wild.
Breakfast Club. It's like,
if
you grew up in the 80s, you've seen all of his movies, basically.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. So many good films. Oh, and then you got to...
Who did Goonies, by the way?
Goonies?
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought it was one of these two as well. It was Richard Donner, but it was written by Steven Spielberg and Chris Columbus. Chris Columbus also a great writer.
Yeah, because I thought Goonies was like tied to Spielberg. He probably produced it. No, he didn't. He wrote it. Story by Steven Spielberg. That's a classic. So good.
So interesting sometimes to find out like what kind of how they cross genres and stuff like that. Like Chris Columbus also, like, was he the writer? Oh no, he's a producer on the Harry Potter series.
Who's that?
Chris Columbus.
Oh yeah. Oh man, there's just the more you go, the more just like you find. Oh yeah, this guy had great movies too. Rob Reiner, like Stand by Me, Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, Few Good Men. The list goes on and on. He had a bunch of great films.
And then his dad was Carl Reiner, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. Who also was in Hollywood, actor, comedian, director.
Yep. Yeah, it's interesting when you go down the rabbit hole.
I know. Then you're like, oh yeah.
Now I'm looking and I'm like, well, what about so and so? Like, and I was thinking, I'm like, oh, what are some movies that just totally like floored me? And then I'm like, oh, Boys in the Hood, John Singleton.
Oh yeah,
amazing stuff.
And he did Goose, I believe, and he did a couple with Tupac as well. And
But I think that goes back to the point of like the way you find movies or categorize movies. Well, we don't necessarily go by director. It's a good way to like discover new movies or look at things you haven't seen in a while. Cause like you said, one thing leads to another and you're looking into this and like, oh, he did this film. I want to see that, whatever. And then you can start to see a whole catalog or a library of really good stuff, because sometimes it just feels like I don't know what to watch, you know.
Yeah, and it's fun too. Sometimes you like certain actors, and then you go down that rabbit hole, and you find out like they work a lot with certain directors, like De Niro and Scorsese is a thing that happened a lot. And then basically the trio, if you take Pesci as well, like Joe Pesci, Robert De Niro, and Scorsese, that was like the trio. Like they did a ton of movies that we've all watched and all seen, that sort of stuff. And DiCaprio has jumped ships with people, and of course, there's people that do stuff with everyone else, but you do see patterns in that sometimes, and it's an interesting thing to go down that. Actually, like Guy Ritchie found Jason Statham, who was like a semi-pro soccer player, same with Vinnie Jones, and then put them in Lock, Stock, and the Two Smoking Barrels, and then in Snatch. Like that's how those guys got their movie career started.
Oh
And
yeah.
now Statham is like a household name.
Oh yeah, it's like you were talking about something that had my thought go to another person, like, well, who else is in movies a lot? And like, go George Clooney. Then I thought about, oh, Ocean's 11, who directed that? And I'm like, oh, it's Steven Soderbergh. So like, there's all these people that you just don't. There's like so many choices of things to find.
Yeah.
He did all the Ocean's 11, 12, 13, and that kind of stuff, and still does movies.
Yeah. Still got new stuff coming out and stuff like that. Yeah. I found stuff that way, like going down a rabbit hole, and it's like, oh wow, this is like some gem that nobody ever seen or something like that. It's like it's an interesting go down.
Oh yeah, it just kind of makes you feel like you want to do creative things in your life, or produce or create something, which, you know, I guess we kind of do some fun stuff with a podcast, but think of the effort and the time and the projects that these take to direct this whole. I mean, the pressure on these guys must be pretty high, especially when you're young and you don't have like the clout in Hollywood to just make whatever you want, and you kind of have to prove yourself on their first few movies. And then once you have some hits, and then of course everyone tends to have a bomb here and there and stuff, or fade away, you know. So I mean, the pressure to be a director in Hollywood must be pretty great, until you're like these top guys we named at the beginning, where you're kind of legends, living legends at that point. Like,
Yeah, that's true, and it's very hard also to put your marker on like what you see with a Quentin Tarantino, where it's like doesn't matter what movie you pick, there's always like this theme or this kind of feel that you get from those movies. Like a Nolan movie, you can always pick out, oh wait, this is a Nolan movie, this is a Quentin Tarantino movie. There's directors that you don't feel that way about, right? There's not like a thematic thing that goes across all of them. I was just looking at Baz Luhrmann, who did Moulin Rouge, Elvis, Australia, and The Great Gatsby. Like those are like four movies, and the only thing I can say they're like drama movies, but I can't like a red line. But I definitely agree with like what Jordan was talking about, movies that like I haven't watched in such a long time, like Platoon. I can't recall last time I watched it. Feels like I should go watch those again.
yeah, well, it is kind of funny. It's like you have movies that you like, or your favorite films that you never watch, or it's like your bands you like but you never listen to. Like I like U2, but I never listen to them unless I happen to hear them on somewhere. You know, it's like I grew up was like loving them, and then I don't know. Sometimes you've heard enough and you're just set it on the shelf for a while, and then when you hear it, you're like, oh, this is fresh again. But same with movies too, you know. It is kind of some movies like I never get tired of watching, and others like I've seen it once, it was good, but I either have to be in the right mood, or I just feel like I'm good, I don't need to see that again. But
oh, there's definitely movies that you don't want to watch again. Like not because I don't like the movie, but because there's such a reveal in it, and if you know it already, it's not fun anymore to watch because you know
yeah,
what's going to happen.
unless you watch it with someone else who hasn't seen it, it's kind of fun to see their reactions. But for yourself, you're not going to go, oh, let me pick that up again.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I would like to watch Memento with my wife.
That one is a wild film.
But it's Memento. That's what I mean. It's Memento, so it's wild. but it's at the same time when I watched it the first time, because you get such a reveal from it. It's like I don't know if I can watch it again.
Yeah, I've only seen it like once, and I've never watched it again.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it was great. I thought it was amazing. I'd never seen anything
Yeah,
like it. But yeah, it's a wild.
it's a good one. What is for each of you? What is a film you, if it comes on TV or it happens to be on, that you'll watch every time it's out?
Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Die Hard. That's a good one. JP, you
I
got
was
one?
thinking like, and I don't know why, but like any of the, like if you're just flipping through and cross the History Channel and all of a sudden they've got like Mayday or Tora 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 or Midway,
Mm-hmm.
one of those like 3 hour long like World War II movies, like all of a sudden I'm just done and I'm just watching it. Like I would, and they're not
Like-
even that great of movies. But if I'm just flipping channels and you see like Midway come on,
Or like A Bridge Too Far, throw it
yeah,
back to what you're
like
talking about.
one of those old like
War
older
movie,
World War II movies, I will sit and watch it.
The Great Escape.
Oh, great movie, great movie.
I'll watch Shawshank Redemption over and over. I've seen that a ton. What else? Things like that.
I feel like I'm in love with these easy to watch action movies from the 80s and 90s.
Oh yeah.
Like any Lethal Weapon can come on and I'll just keep watching. The heydays of
Oh
Mel
yeah.
Gibson is just-
Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh.
Escape from New York.
Yes. Who did? Why am I thinking a big director did Big Trouble in Little China?
It was John Carpenter.
Yeah, John Carpenter. Yeah, the king of horror in the 80s.
Yeah, because
didn't John Carpenter did like Friday the 13th?
Yeah, he did Halloween, Escape from New York,
Nightmare on Elm Street.
He did Escape from New York. He did Halloween, and he did not. He did Escape from LA, but he did not do Nightmare on Elm Street. He did Halloween was the big one. He did the Thing as well in the 80s.
Oh, The Thing is one of
and Christine.
The Thing, that was a movie. That was the first R-rated movie I saw as a kid, and it like freaked me the crap out.
Oh yeah.
That movie was wild.
He also did the Chevy Chase Invisible Man one. Which is,
I've got to say, Big Trouble in Little China is one of my favorite movies. Absolutely.
Oh yeah. Escape from New York is classic.
It has more good one-liners in it than it's the best. Luke, you've seen it, right?
No, I have not seen Big Trouble in Little China. No, I have.
It's Kurt Russell. You got to watch that.
Oh, please
I
go watch Big Trouble in Little China tonight if you're bored.
Yeah,
flip it on. It's an easy watch, and it's a fantastic movie.
I love it. I love it when sometimes they get so cheesy that it's just awesome. It's just the ones that we were saying, like Waterworld, was something I enjoyed watching a lot when I was a kid. And it's like so bad it's good again.
Oh yeah.
How did you guys like the original Mad Max movies?
They're good.
The originals were good.
The first one.
Part one is the best.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Because it's still plausible. It's kind of this post-apocalyptic kind of.
It kind of shows the downfall of society.
Happen kind of world, like. Then they just get crazier and crazier. But I mean, any movie with Tina Turner in it, I mean, Thunderdome, like, how do you go wrong? Like, fabulous. Is it as good? No, but it's still great.
But then they came back with a vengeance when they did the Mad Max with Tom Hardy.
Yes.
Oh, my God. I'm interested in Furiosa. Like,
yes. Mm-hmm.
That was pretty.
It's wild. There's like five of them now, and then a sixth one coming out after Furiosa.
Even another one?
Yeah, it's called Mad Max: The Wasteland, to be announced, it says. Interesting. But yeah, those are good. Definitely wild. Mel Gibson's heyday before the downfall.
Okay, like how I could do this all day, because now I'm thinking of the movies that impacted and that I really love, and then I'm like, oh, like I forgot Danny Boyle did Trainspotting. Like,
what a movie!
Such a great movie.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily love a lot of his later stuff, but Trainspotting, oh my goodness.
Those are interesting movies, man.
Oh, I could go on and on for days. I'm like, get me off of this. I'm just flipping through the computer, just look online, just looking like, oh, my favorite movies. Okay, who directed those now?
But think about it. This is a great segue into your summer moving watching season. So, I mean, I was just looking at upcoming releases coming out. What is today? Today is the Fall Guy just came out. Let's see what else is coming out. Furiosa's coming out.
Deadpool.
Garfield. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes also coming out the 24th of May. Bad Boys Ride or Die coming out June 7th. Will Smith and Martin.
Martin hasn't been in a movie for ages. Like,
probably since the last Bad Boys. Probably Bad Boys for life.
I would definitely, I would give that a shot.
Oh yeah, I'd watch it. I think it'd be fun. Oh yeah, it's coming. I don't know if you guys saw the Quiet Place movies. There's a third one coming out June 28th. There's like kind of so bad.
Very probably in that one in the Quiet Place.
What's that?
They got John Krasinski and Emily Blunt are both.
Oh yeah,
married.
So this one, A Quiet Place Day One, it's like a throwback to when it all happened.
Yeah, my wife just mentioned that John Krasinski directed the movie.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yep.
So yeah, a lot of movies coming out. Like you said, Deadpool's coming out. Twisters, a new Twister film's coming out on July 19th.
That did not need to be remade.
It's no Twisters 2.
No, that didn't. There's a new Beverly Hills Cop coming out.
Oh,
there is.
Yes. And Beetlejuice as well.
And a new Alien movie coming out August 16th. So yeah, a lot of and another Transformers movie in September. If we need any more of those.
How often do you go see movies in the theater?
I still go pretty often, honestly. If I listen to the rest of them,
do?
I think I go like 4 times a year, probably.
Yeah.
See, so you go see a movie in a theater 3-4 times a year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go to see something.
See, but I feel like pre-COVID, it wasn't crazy to go see a couple a month. Which we do, go to a movie. Like,
yeah, but I still go, or I'll watch some at home, but I'll still go to some.
No, but if I listen to the people around me, I'm going more often than they go.
Yeah, I go maybe once a year to a theater.
Yeah.
Like once or twice, which is wild.
And actually, Luke and I will go. Yeah, Luke and I will go when he's in town. We'll go catch something. That's for sure.
But that's a whole nother topic, though. But like, yeah, I don't think, Friday night, let's go to a movie. And I don't know if that's a position of like having kids now and we're busy and it's crazy and but no, it's just not a thing.
Well, market for the holiday season. Let's go see Ridley Scott's new film coming out, Gladiator 2.
I don't know how I feel about that.
With Denzel in it.
It does have Denzel, Paul Mescal, Pedro Pascal, Denzel.
I've heard all about this and it sounds amazing, but like sometimes you just let a good thing lie.
I also don't know. But
well, at least it's the same director and it could be good, so we'll see.
But I do feel like I used to go for the movie. Now I'll just go because it needs to be watched in theaters. Like Dune is something I want to watch in a theater. But I might like Back to Black because it's Amy Winehouse and I've been intrigued by her. But I don't see the need to go into a theater to watch that.
Yeah. So I guess listen for the buzz, see what's worth going to see in the theater. I definitely like the experience of the bigger theater, especially IMAX for the ones filmed for that. I think Oppenheimer would have had less of an impact on me if it was on my little TV screen. Mm-hmm. Same with Dune. Because I did watch the Dune 1 again at home to catch up, which is good. And depends on if you get surround sound and whatever, but seeing that the first time on the big screen is just because it's that whole landscape kind of lends itself to that experience, I think, and the sound quality, which is pretty amazing. So
that's true. Yeah, I've found some independent theaters, and I listened to Quentin Tarantino on a podcast, and apparently he bought 2 cinemas in LA, and they're like all film, so it's not digital, all of it in film, and they've got like The Good, the Bad, and Ugly, nice. Kill Bill's in there. It's like there's movies I've not seen that are older movies that are playing there, and I'm like, yeah, that's like an experience. Like what Jordan was saying as well is like Lord of the Rings, going to watch those with the kids in the theaters because they're theatrical movies. You want to watch those in the theater. That's pretty cool. Yeah, and there's one that's a tradition that I still do, and that's the Bond movies. I have to go watch those.
Oh yeah, those are great for sure.
Yeah. Let's save that for another one. Best Bond.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Or worst Bond. That's also worst Bond. If you go rewatch some of them, you're like, oh god, we missed the marker. But it's also times are changing. It's so interesting to see like how in old Bond movies the villains, how they were portrayed, and somewhere in the mid 2010s or something, we swapped villains to have like backstories and be more humane. But in Bond movies, they're never humane. They're always like the bad guy. I'm just gonna watch you die. Put some crocodiles in here, and then I'll walk away.
That's like the whole Austin Powers spoof now. It's like, why would we'll get lasers and put them on the shark's head and then walk away? So funny.
Yes, I'm a sucker for a Bond movie. Yes, that is something. If they're on TV, I will watch. Yes,
that's good.
I love them all.
Well, let's definitely revisit some Bonds on another episode. I'm sure movies will come back to our themes, of course. As we have our recurring topics of food, travel, movies, sports. Soccer. We've got topics we touch on and come back to. So definitely gets me excited to go to a show. So get that popcorn, head out to the IMAX. Check something out or just see what's streaming. Well, thanks, Luke, for that topic. I thought it was a good one.
Yeah, we can throw away my person, place, or thing, but whatever. We'll go with it.
You're on the record now. Too late. But yeah, so no, definitely. I know it's been a while since our last episode, but thanks for tuning in. Check us out on the socials, SBCK Podcast. You guys got anything else to give to our good folks?
Nope. We'll just do this more often. Can't wait to.
We say that every time.
I know, but we say it, but we mean it this time. We really do mean it.
Life happens. Yeah. It definitely does. But yeah, so we have had some, like we said earlier in the intro, we have some fun activities in our lives coming up this year. So we'll keep you posted on those things happening. We'll have to get some more hikes in, Luke, and camping, that kind of thing. We still have a plan to all of us head out in the desert in 4-wheel drive vehicles sometime and maybe do a overlanding episode or something like that.
Absolutely.
Which JP, I'm sure, will take charge of that. So we definitely need to meet down there and do that. So we've got a lot of things coming up planned. We have some hopes to get some folks on here to interview as well on various topics. So stay tuned for some more things. And we might just do some little smaller segments here and there at times. So
yeah, for sure. Let's do that. Let's do small ones often.
Well, thanks for tuning in. Definitely appreciate it. Join us next time. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Luke.
I'm Jordan.
Thanks for listening to SBCK. Should be common knowledge. Have a good one, folks.
Thanks for joining.